Hello everyone, welcome to the postmodern world. Let's talk about dudes, which is like 0.3% off from being like 69% of the people watching these videos. Really nice. As a guy today, it really feels like you're given two options as to where you want to go in life after you leave high school. Both of them fucking suck. Option 1, give up your masculinity, individuality, and inevitably your soul to go out and get yourself a safe $50,000 to $70,000 a year job where you'll work for like 40 years if you're lucky. However, it looks likely working till death is much more probable than it was like 2 to 3 generations ago. All the while you struggle to or simply just don't find a wife because of the sheer amount of women in our generation making the choice to not settle down with one partner or setting the bar so incredibly high for men is just baffling. Sorry dudes, 6 foot, 6-figured, 6-packs, the absolute bare minimum now. See, those hoes really are the devil. Please note my sarcasm here because it's going to be very important later. I swear this isn't about to be some incel video about men being doomed and modern women being shit. We've got a good message here today, we just gotta get to that part. And then there's the other side to this shit spectrum, the alright boys, I'm gonna speedrun how many bitches I can sleep with this month. Which is funny because it's these same fucking guys that end up getting attached to some girl who also happens to be an absolute hoe just like these guys, and yet they're just completely baffled when said woman cheats on them or leaves them for another guy. Like seriously, the lack of brain activity that goes on over there is just insane. On this side we've got the hustlers. Andrew Tate has had an irreversible destructive impact on far too many guys in my generation. The guys that forego traditional education in hopes that they'll find a way to become a millionaire by the time they're 25 on the internet running their stupid dropshipping, crypto trading, copyright business. And to make this already dumbass dysfunctional group even more ironic, before they even have it blow up in their faces, the majority of these dudes bail on the project like after a month or two. It fails for them because they're so unable to stick to one thing long enough, they don't even get to see their doomed to fail project fall apart. It's pretty hard to be a guy these days. I'm sure it's hard to be a girl too, especially if you're not like fucked in the head like a lot of the women in our generation, but I'm not a girl, so I'm going to talk about the chicks with dicks instead. We don't really have any path to a good life anymore. If you want to make enough money in today's world, you're gonna end up selling your soul to something. You either go to school for a job that you hate that pays a lot, or you're gonna get on some fucking hustler grind that works for a very lucky 1% of people. Not to mention, most of those hustler grinds involve scamming someone. There's a reason that stuff like dropshipping and crypto have terrible reputations, because the people that make out with the most money are the psychos that stepped on the most amount of people to get there. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not exactly willing to sell my soul to either of these shitty paths, especially if all I get in return is either a job that I hate that I'll die in barely making enough money to get by, or a bunch of expensive shit I don't need that I own in order to make the most low quality women notice me, all the while my brain absolutely melts from the instant gratification lifestyle. Yeah, no thanks, I'd rather die on my hill with my soul intact. In our grandparents and maybe some of our parents' time, depending on how old you are, it was easy to go to school for 4 years, get a degree, find a job that maybe didn't pay the best they could, but still get a house, find a girl to get married to, and have kids. Unfortunately, those kids just so happen to be us, and the world they've had has been long dead for a while now. All this polarization between men has been leading to our whole generation getting into some seriously deep holes that we're either going to have to find a way to dig ourselves out of, or we're going to die in. And by our generation, I mean Gen Z. However, I know like a third of the people that watch this channel are millennials, and you guys tend to suffer from the same issues my group does. I love my older brothers and sister viewers. We're all gonna make it through this garbage world together. Seriously though, it's pretty well known that most of Gen Z is single, but like 75% according to the BBC. 75%. Seriously, I mean, holy shit, there are 25% of us actually in a relationship. To make the statistic even stranger, Gen Z is having less casual sex than millennials were, which is fucking based and all, but like, okay, so if we're not dating and we're not fucking, then what are we doing exactly? I think it's pretty obvious. We are simply suffering. A lot of us men like to believe that it's women that are the problem, that the standards are so high, and because of the existence of rich fit guys, you'll never be able to find a partner, but like, that's not exactly what's happening. Not for like the majority, at least. Yeah, it's true that there are more women these days that are having much higher body counts than generations before us and getting into open relationships more frequently than men. But let me ask you a question, and seriously, spend some time after this video thinking about it. What are you gonna do about it? Who cares? Like, I think we're all vaguely aware of the old saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Both groups of men I described earlier, hell, most men in general, I think we're allowing the lives of these women women that hop from rich guy to rich guy to take up way too much rent-free space in our heads. We can't control them, and it's worthless to try. Women with a body count of 5 and above are statistically only 20% likely to end in a happy marriage. We are all at least vaguely aware that our generation's mentality is in a party in your teens and 20s, then deal with life later, and the people that buy into that are going to be in for a really rough wake-up call when 30 hits, which it will. So don't be one of those people that washes out by the time you get there. Use your youth to make the future you want. If you put your nose down now and get to work making the life that you want it to be, then by the time you get there, the people that blew their lives on partying, drugs, and mindless sex are going to be realizing that they are going to be spending the rest of their lives trying to accomplish what you did in like 10 years and still never be able to achieve parts of what you have. Look, there are a lot of shitty dudes in the world, and as us Zoomers have been entering adulthood, we've been seeing these types of dudes pop up around us. Maybe it's someone we knew in our lives, maybe it's just seeing these guys on the internet, but those types of people aren't watching this video. They've got their own problems and we've got ours. Hookup culture never ends well, and it'll bite all of its participants in the ass in due time. But judging by my demographic, I don't think that's one of your problems. If it is, I've got a really good video you should watch. It's in the top right corner of the screen right now. If hookups are a thing you're into, I think you should stop watching this video now and go over there and watch that one. But as I was saying, if these hoes aren't your problem, don't let it bother you. We all want to find companionship. We all want someone to love, and it can be disheartening seeing women doing degen shit. But as stated before, 75% of us aren't dating, not just 75% of dudes. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to believe that the dating world for us young men is completely hopeless. As easy as it is to feel like that, if you feel like all you see around you are a bunch of thoughts, which is a word we really, as a society, need to bring back, then look somewhere else. Stop watching videos of influencers hanging around lots of attractive women who are obviously just there because they want money. Don't use dating apps no matter how far you're willing to go to find a partner as soon as possible, because the odds of you finding a genuinely good woman on something like Tinder is just unfathomably low. Honestly, just consider taking a break from looking for a partner in general. If it's stressing you out so much to the point you're suffocating because you don't have one, then you really need to find a way to live without one. Love comes when you least expect it, and while I know there are other influencers on this side of YouTube that'll say you need to look for it if you want it, I don't agree with just about anything that dating has turned into for Gen Z. We really need to try and go back to the old ways that generations before us treated finding a partner. If you don't like the way things are now, then get up and walk away. Now, as for the whole money thing we've been dealing with now, we are completely fucked. Unless you love being something like a doctor or a lawyer, you're not going to have the easiest time. In my opinion, college is a scam for most people. Obviously, there are a lot of career fields that require a degree, but if your dream career is something you can do without a degree, don't go to college. Like, imagine going to school to get a degree in social media and digital communication. That is a really sad... I'm getting comfy here. That is a really sad reality that far too many people are going to go through with. Fun fact, the screenshot was taken from the college I just dropped out of. Back on track though, there very much are alternatives to school, and I don't just mean like learning a trade either. I don't have all the time in the world to give you a step-by-step plan on how to make it in the world without college. Maybe that's a video for another time, but I do know someone that does. If you're looking for a great place to learn about making a life without college, then I'd very much recommend checking out the Decision Day podcast on Spotify. The host just so happens to be my cousin, and she is good at what she does. If you don't want to take the college route, then you need to figure out other alternatives you have. And now we've got the other far side of the spectrum that seems to think the internet has all their answers. Okay, honestly, this is hurting my feet. We're going back to normal. Hey, I wrote this, so I already know what's coming up. Hey, all you aspiring top G dropshippers. Guess how much money you'll be making on average? Do you think it's something like $100,000 like all those dropshipper influencers you see online? Maybe it's even higher than that? Guess what, dumbass? It's $39,000 a year. $19 an hour. You go get your bag, hustler. You'll be in your Bugatti in no time. $39,000 a year. One of the biggest up-and-coming career fields that so many people in my generation are going for. $39K a year. Even the top earners in dropshipping only make like $48K a year. That's $23 an hour for dropshipping. Dropshipping is an absolute scam. However, there is one part of the whole manosphere hustling money-making scheme that does seem to have some actual potential, though I have not researched very much into it, that being crypto. But even that is just stock trading with an even higher risk. But according to ZipRecruiter, the average salary of a crypto trader is almost $95K a year. I don't know though, I know next to nothing about crypto besides how infested that field's gotten with rug pull scams. So like, if you're interested, look into it on your own time. It may have some potential, but it also might suck, who knows. Alright, we need to tie this video off at some point. Look, being a guy in today's world sucks. We all seem to hate each other over stupid differences, like who's getting women, who's doing the right thing to get money, and what it really comes down to is a debate on who's living life the right way. And there's no real definitive answer for that. I've got my opinions on the subject, and they tend to fall a bit on both sides of the spectrum. Like, don't waste your time on school if you don't need it, but having a fulfilling life will not come from being some form of hustler either. Money does not buy happiness. I know that tends to be a hot take these days for some reason, but being able to buy anything you want whenever you want it does not mean shit if the only people you have around you are people that you have to constantly ask yourself if they're really around you for you or all the money and stuff you have. Like Biggie said, man, mo money, mo problems. It's that simple. Don't obsess over women, whether it be in the grr, I hate that women are only into rich, strong guys, or oh, poor me, I can never find a good girl. You'll end up finding the right one for you, and I'm willing to bet it'll be when you least expect it. So put the thought of finding your partner in the back of your mind and prioritize making the life you want. And when the time comes and you meet the right person, then deal with it when you get there. Money and hoes, man, seem to be the biggest problem for dudes. It's always the money and the hoes. Making it in the world today requires pure, indestructible individualism. You need to be able to bring something new to the table. You can't just do what others before you have. If you want to succeed, you need to be the best you, not the same person or a better version of someone else. This video was originally going to be called The Polarization of Young Men. That was before I went like full schizo writing the script and realizing the issues are much bigger than polarization. It's about the fact we lack a certain life path that leads us to a good life. What worked in the past just does not work anymore. You can't go to school for 4 years, find a job right after, and then retire in your 60s in a nice house with your stay-at-home wife and kids. That path just does not exist anymore. Fuck, man, it's hard to just find a good woman these days, let alone getting a house, a high-paying job, starting a family, getting married. It's hard, but not impossible. Take a good listen here. I think this is the most like based thing I'm gonna say all video. In our generation, the people that make it and the people that don't are gonna be separated by who's able to let go of what they think life is and adapt to what's necessary to not only survive but to thrive, and the people that just want to feel something good whenever they want it. But the only way to make a good feeling last forever is with hard work. I'm still not sure what I'm gonna call this video as of recording. I'm sure it'll be something based as fuck though. I apologize for how all over the place this video has been. Kind of felt it necessary to really get the point across, but I hope you still thought it was good. If you did, maybe check out some of my other videos. Maybe even consider subscribing so I can like get monetized and start making money off of this. Yeah, it would be pretty cool if you did that. Alright guys, that's gonna be it from me. God bless you all and have a great day.